Before we begin, tell us what city, country, and time are you watching from? Let's go. They called it a mistake, a diplomatic miscalculation, a political overstep, a footnote in the minutes of 1,000 species council. But for those of us who remember what happened that cycle, it wasn't a mistake, it was a warning. We fought the humans once. Never again. At the time, the galactic convergence had stood united for over 100 solar rotations, 57 species operating in bureaucratic harmony, law, trade, treaties, all enforced by words and rules. War, we believed, was primitive, obsolete. Then Earth showed up, not with fanfare, not with a fleet, just a signal, clean, direct, translatable across all major syntactical matrices, 7 words: we hear you, do you hear us? Simple, naive some thought, but not us. We saw through it. The Terrans had risen too quickly, from planetary infancy to warp travel in just under 2,000 cycles, unheard of, unstable, dangerous. So the Council voted, quietly, without debate: observe, contain, neutralize if necessary. I was young then, captain of a surveillance frigate along the outer veil. We had eyes on them, cold eyes, probes, drones, telemetry arrays, studying Earth like a virus under glass. And yet, we underestimated the patient. When the order came to test their resolve, we were told it would be clinical: 1 colony, 1 outer rim station, a silent push, no bloodshed, a message. They called it Operation Silver Thorn. I called it suicide. I was there when the first Terran ship responded. Not a fleet, not a threat, just 1 vessel, small, obsolete, by our metrics. Its name, the Resolute. I remember the exact moment it appeared, dropping out of fold space like a ghost, silent and slow, its hull scarred, its comms offline, no escorts, no warnings. We scanned it 6 times, no weapons detected. And still, something in my spine recoiled, something primal. Commander Lareth, a Volar diplomat aboard our bridge, laughed when it appeared. They send relics to do their talking. Let's show them how silence feels. We hailed them. No response. He ordered the boarding team, 5 soldiers, elite, armored in synthweave, pulse rifles loaded. They docked, entered, vanished. No signal, no return, just silence. We waited 11 minutes. Then the Resolute sent its reply. Not words, not a message, just a data pulse, encoded, spiked with Terran encryption. It tore through our systems like a living thing, disabling internal comms, disabling auto-fire protocols, and then turning on the internal cams. One by one, we watched our soldiers inside, slumped, unmoving, but not dead. Each one placed neatly in a row, unconscious. On the wall behind them, someone had written something in blood-red paint. Send another 5. Lareth turned pale. I turned my ship, but it was already too late. The Resolute powered its engines, and that obsolete ship moved like a predator. In 22 seconds, it disabled 3 Council cruisers, using what we still cannot identify. Not plasma, not rail, something else. No fatalities, but no dignity either. We didn't lose ships that day. We lost face. And the worst part, the humans never fired a lethal shot, because they didn't need to. They knew what we would do next. Panic. We sent the fleet, 200 warships under high command authority, and Earth responded with only 12. Not 1,200. Not 12,000. 12. The Battle of Kalar's Edge lasted 11 minutes. Not because we fought well, but because the humans let it end. Half our fleet was disabled, the rest disarmed. Every kill switch triggered, every AI infiltrated mid-battle. One of our command ships detonated its own hypercore, not from human fire, but from code the humans had inserted 3 days earlier. Before the war even began, I was one of the lucky few who survived. Not because I fought bravely, because they allowed it. I remember our comms reconnecting after the blackout. Static, then a human voice, cold and clear, coming through every frequency. We didn't want this. But you asked. That was it. No demands. No terms. Just a reminder. They could have destroyed us, vaporized our entire offensive wing, but instead they crippled us. Surgically, publicly. They made sure every system, every channel, every camera was recording, because it wasn't just a battle, it was a message. After that day, the council met behind sealed doors for 7 cycles. No transcripts, no recordings. Only one declaration was made public: hostile classification withdrawn. No further action against Terran forces authorized. But that wasn't the part people remembered. What they remembered was how quickly the humans vanished. No broadcasts, no trade, no response. They retreated beyond the known edges of mapped space, like ghosts fading into mist. Some called it shame, others called it strategy. I called it a promise, because those of us who were there, who saw what they could do, knew one thing beyond doubt: if we ever pushed again, they wouldn't hold back next time. And the galaxy would burn. Now, decades later, young tacticians call it a myth. Political agitators say it was staged. That no 12 ships could disable 200. That humans are gone. That Earth is fractured, vulnerable. But I've seen what arrogance costs, so I sit in the Academy Hall and tell them what no holosim can teach. You think the humans ran? No, I tell them, leaning forward so they feel the gravity in my voice. They're watching, waiting. And if you ever meet one again, pray to the stars that they remember mercy, because the first time we fought the humans, they let us survive. Next time, I don't think they will. No one saw the ship enter. It didn't announce itself. It didn't ping local space. It didn't warp in with a flash of light or sonic boom. It was just there. One moment, empty stars. The next, a vessel, matte black, silent. Its hull showed no ID, no heat signatures, no exhaust. Just one symbol on its underbelly, a faded Terran eagle. Orbital command panicked. Drones scrambled. Docking stations locked. Military AI shifted to red protocol, requesting input. But no one moved, because everyone knew what it was. A Terran scout ship, the first sighting in over 40 cycles. The news spread like plasma fire across the sectors. Inside council chambers, emergency protocols kicked in. Diplomats began evacuating. Old soldiers, the ones who'd lived through Kalar's Edge, went quiet. No aggression, no statements, just a simple question, asked over thousands of systems. Why now? No answer came. The ship simply waited, motionless above the diplomatic moon of Velcaris Prime, a neutral ground where no military vessel was permitted to land. Yet no one told it to leave. Because no one dared. The council debated for 6 days. Some wanted to respond with a full defense perimeter. Others suggested ignoring it entirely. One faction, young, ambitious, said it was time to prove the galaxy had moved on from old fears. They were fools. Old Admiral Tyrus, once called the knife of the border wars, finally stood on the 7th day and said, "Send one envoy." Who, they asked. He looked at the empty chair where the Volar diplomat Lareth once sat, the one who had ordered the first boarding party all those decades ago. Someone who remembers. They chose me. I didn't protest. Some part of me always knew it would end this way. When I arrived at the landing bay, the Terran ship was already open. No guards, no weapons, no show of power, just a walkway lit by soft white lights. I stepped inside. It was colder than I expected. Not in temperature, in design. Everything was quiet, clean, efficient. There was no wasted space, no ornament. At the center, standing before a circular console, was a man. Older now, hair graying at the sides, same dark coat, same calm eyes. Cale Rourke, the human from the Resolute. He turned as if he already knew I was there. Not surprised, not cautious, just aware. "Captain Valen," he said, "you've aged." "You haven't," I replied. He gave the smallest smile. "We tend to stay out of sight." I didn't ask how he knew my name. I knew the answer. They'd been watching. All these years. We thought Earth was gone. I said. It isn't, he replied. You just stopped looking where it matters. Silence stretched between us. Not hostile, just heavy. Why return now? I asked. Kale looked at the console. A hollow map unfolded in the air, showing conflict zones across the sectors. Resource wars. Rogue AI colonies. Species skirmishes. He said nothing, but I understood. The galaxy was crumbling. Again. You want to intervene? Kale shook his head. We want to remind. Remind who? Everyone. He turned to face me fully now, and for the first time in decades, I felt it again. That weight, that precision, that presence that didn't need noise or weapons. You made a mistake the first time, he said. You thought we came to conquer. I nodded. We did. You were wrong, he said quietly. We came to warn you. A chill passed over me. All that chaos, I said. The fleet, the code, the battle, was that restraint? Kale didn't blink. That was us being patient. My throat tightened. Are you still patient? I asked. His eyes flickered with something I couldn't place. No, he said. But we're still merciful. Then he handed me a small black cube. A data core, unmarked. What is it? I asked. He paused before answering. A solution. Then he stepped past me, walked down the ramp, and disappeared into the stars, like smoke in a storm. No war, no demands, just a cube, and a choice. When I returned, the council didn't know what to do. They ran simulations, AI warnings, ethical reviews. No one could open the cube without triggering a message that simply said, "You asked us once why we fought. Ask yourself now why we stopped." I keep that cube in my office. Some days I stare at it and wonder how close we are to needing it. But most nights I don't sleep, because I know what happens if we don't listen again. They won't send 12 ships. They won't hack our fleets. They won't leave messages on walls. Next time, they won't send anything. Because next time, we won't get a warning. If you stayed through this story, now you understand what shook the stars. It wasn't just war. It was the will behind it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because Earth doesn't need to return. It just needs to be remembered.